To what degree of success remains to be seen. He's strong, we know that. And there's a flash left hand. It is a knockdown. First time that Marvin HAGLER has ever been knocked off his feet, and he's not happy about it.
Let's catch it and see if it's a slip or just what it was. Well, as you see, it was a kind of a push and a pull. He landed the punch high on HAGLER's head and pulled him down. HAGLER is a little off balance here.
That is the key for HAGLER, to keep his composure, to keep cool, to not let this guy's style frustrate him.
HAGLER going downstairs. That's the first time Marvin HAGLER has been down either as an amateur or a professional.
Like Marvin HAGLER.
Marvin HAGLER, even though you saw that graphic, and there's another good left hand got in on the chin. Roldan's right is his more noteworthy punch.
Again, Roldan he throws the kind of punches, the type of punches rather, that normally hits a southpaw because he throws that right hand like there, and it comes from a blind side, and a lot of times the southpaw can't get out of the way of it.
Marvin HAGLER, a very smart fighter in the ring, and he may take some time to find his opponent. That was a good short right hand by HAGLER. I started to say, despite the fact that HAGLER has an impressive knockout record, he's not a guy who's going to want to get in there and bang with you particularly. That's another good punch by Roldan. I started to say, despite the fact that HAGLER has an impressive knockout record, he's not a guy who's going to want to get in there and bang with you particularly. That's another good heavy-handed punches here for Juan Domingo Roldan, and he is exactly as advertised. He's a little bit wild and a little bit out of control, but he can hit. More kinds of punches in this fight than I've seen him throw before.
And another thing, Barry, he's able to throw those type of punches for at least a good 10 rounds.
HAGLER came back with about 3 punches in a row, but he took a chopping right hand, and I think HAGLER got the worst of it. More kinds of punches in this fight than I've seen him throw before.
And another thing, Barry, he's able to throw those type of punches for at least a good 10 rounds.
HAGLER came back with about 3 punches in a row, but he took a chopping right hand, and I think HAGLER got the worst of it. That was on the gloves. And that was a good right hand by HAGLER. And there was a good right hand by Roldan. Both men were shook.
Let's watch Roldan in this round, which was probably a better round for him than the first round. A good, clean uppercut.
And he banged himself in the head a couple of times. HAGLER comes out very busily to start the third round. Both men have cut in the past. That's another point should be made. And HAGLER getting much the best of that. I'll tell you, every time Roldan scores, good counter-punching right hand by HAGLER. Roldan just stalking HAGLER.
And he's cocking that right hand. You see, Barry, every time that Roldan goes down, he's able to come up with some kind of punch, like the uppercuts.
Actually, Roldan scored with a counter-punching right hand that time. He's not usually the counter-puncher.
Watch what happens when Marvin starts throwing his punches. He started to put his feet together because he's got
Roldan was hurt by HAGLER there. He's down between the ropes. And the left eye, it is closed.
Let's take a look here as HAGLER goes after him. Again, that was not a clean knockdown. He knocked him back into the ropes. Roldan was going away from him and sort of just slipped off balance. There is the punch that apparently hurt his eye. Suddenly you see Roldan is trying to cover up.
And that eye is still bothering Juan Roldan. There's no question about it. He's blinking his eye as he came out. And I think we're seeing a little bit of anger here, and that could be the kiss of death.
Well, I guess it's obvious now that a thumb can turn the whole fight completely around, like Marvin HAGLER, especially when he becomes handicapped. HAGLER's going to take control because the eye probably will be closed by the end of this round.
Some of the sting also apparently gone from Roldan's punches. He's virtually in a no-win situation, barring the totally unforeseen, Murray.
I think what HAGLER wants to do now is get his rhythm going and really get this guy in a lot of trouble.
Roldan's still on top of him, but his punch is not quite having... Roldan still scoring with those punches, even though he is essentially a one-eyed fighter. Good shot once more, and Roldan just not able to see the punches coming. Hagler getting the best of it inside now. Roldan's punches have lost their zip. Tito Alba, who was interpreting in Juan Domingo Roldan's corner, even when we are not hearing him, says that he heard conversation in the corner, Ray, from Roldan saying that he can't see, period.
Because since that's the case, I think it was a trauma of that punch, whether it was a thumb, and it had to be a thumb in order to get into the eye, that affected his vision. And again, Barry, Roldan is basically fighting on sheer determination.
And Hagler keeping him in close. Roldan trying to hold. Hagler just getting the best of it here.
With just poking that left jab out there and sticking with the right hand. Marvin should let this guy lay on him. If that's the case with this vision, Marvin should box him.
Roldan showing a lot of heart. Any questions that Larry Merchant posed at the beginning of this show have certainly been answered by Juan Roldan.
Not the glove itself.
Well, I think the fact that the eye is okay, as you heard Tito Alba interpret from the corner, is purely a subjective opinion. I think if you ask Juan Roldan that, you might get a different answer. Some of the sting might have gone out, but if what Tito Alba heard that perhaps he wasn't able to see, that might have been an excuse for it. But in the last couple of rounds, he's had a little bit more in his punches. That eye right now is very close to cutting underneath. It's very red. That was a good right hand by Roldan, but he took two in return for the champion.
Fascinating point, Bird, to bring out is the fact that guys with those stone chins, rock hard chins, really can't take a body shot. That was a stiff left hand thrown by Hagler. Roldan delivers the strongest and most powerful right uppercut I've seen thrown by any fighter. You see there, Barry, the way he moved his head.
And that had to be pure instinct, because as you said, he's not seeing him coming. Roldan giving more than he's getting right at the moment.
Again, the head movement of Roldan is making Hagler miss a lot, especially by being handicapped in the condition of Roldan.
There was a right hand, and Juan Domingo Roldan goes down. And let's see if he wants to get up.
He was hit on the eye also.
And I think he's saying no more. That's it.
In fact, we see Hagler here with that right jab, and all of a sudden, the left hand comes behind and the right hand follows. It's a series of combinations that was able to send Roldan to the canvas.
Right on the eye, and I don't think there was any question, but I'm surprised, frankly, that he got up at all, to tell you the truth.
Well, the round prior to this, Roldan didn't want to fight anymore. He was completely discouraged, and I think that was a sign that he was through.
There was any question, but I'm surprised, frankly, that he got up at all, to tell you the truth.
Well, the round prior to this, Roldan didn't want to fight anymore. He was completely discouraged, and I think that was a sign that he was through.